And we're live. This is Jim Miller, and this is Unlocking Personal Leadership Live, episode number 37. 37. And today is Longevity Tuesday. So, Tuesdays we talk about things surrounding longevity. Live a long life, long, strong, happy, joyful, fun filled life, and then die. That's the way I want to do it. Just live, and then die. Don't want to be in the wheelchair. Don't want to be on the walker, the scooting around thing, in pain, taking meds. Wondering where I am. Don't want that. I want to just live a good, solid, healthy, fun, energetic life, and then have it be done. That's my goal. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. Nobody knows, but that's what we talk about on this show. It's on Tuesdays is longevity. So if you have any thoughts on longevity, any concerns, anything you're looking at that you're curious about, bring it up. Let's chat. See what we got going on. I'd love to explore ideas and new things. So let me know. I'm on Facebook and YouTube right now, and you can put comments in the chat on Facebook, and I think I get them here on StreamYard. I've gotten a couple of them, so we can have a little conversation. So tonight I have a couple of things. It's interesting. I think we're looking at actuarials in a couple of different views. An actuarial is a calculation or a table that insurance companies use when they figure out how much they want to charge you to insure you. They base it on your age, your gender, your health, whether or not you smoke, what your lifestyle's like, just some basic factors. And they take that into account, and then they assign you a number based on these actuarial tables that they've figured out statistically make sense for them. So when you're planning your life, looking at, for example, retirement, and that's day 4. Every day, Thursdays, we talk about building generational wealth. And this ties into that. This ties into, how long you live, how much money are you going to need, and what kind of lifestyle do you want? These are great questions to start asking like yesterday. So if you don't have those answers, or you haven't asked yourself that question yet, or those questions, the time is now. Start figuring that out, because let me tell you what, TikTok, things are happening. And if you don't have that in control, and you're not really clear on where you're headed with that, chances are something gets in the way. You're not going to end up where you want to end up. So it's best to be, in my experience, really proactive with that and figure out what it is that you want. Be really clear on when you're going to retire, because it doesn't take, I'm going to tell you a secret. It doesn't take age to retire. It takes cash flow. Cash flow. That's what it takes to retire. It's not a secret, but it's true. It's a truth. And my grandfather retired when he was 45, very wealthy. He lived till he was 97. So he was actually retired longer than he worked, a lot longer. So he lived a great life. He did a very good job of building his wealth and managing his wealth, I think. And he had businesses that he did, and did very well. So that's something that, he played golf. He was a member, deacon in the church. He was very active in his community, and he did things. He had a great life, and he was retired for a lot longer than he worked, because he was able to afford not having to work, and he put his money to work for him. So that's what I want to do here in my later years. And so I'm working towards creating generational wealth. And that's, again, what we talk about on Thursdays. But tonight we're going to talk about longevity and actuarial tables and how to calculate life expectancy. And that's something I pulled up I've got a website that I'd like to share, and let's see if I can pull it up here. Let's see, I can pull this up by hitting that button. There we go. So how to calculate your life expectancy. And so it's understanding how long you could live, and it's a key to your successful retirement planning. It's very key. You don't want to run into the dreaded retirement mistake. That's when your money runs out before you do, and you've got more life at the end and you've got no money, and that's not fun. That would not be a good thing. So it's really, I guess, obvious that having a plan and working towards that plan now, no matter what your age, I don't care if you're a teenager, you can still start thinking about this and planning for it. Start taking that into consideration now. And if you're a parent, you can start putting money away. Imagine, I know that you can hire, if you have a business, you can hire your minor child, put them to work, pay them a salary, and then you can actually put that money aside for them in a retirement account. And say at age, I don't know, 14 or 15, and say it's $2,500 for a calendar year that you put away. And using the rule of 72 and using a conservative interest rate, look at the number, $2,500 at even 5% interest compounded annually in a retirement account. How much would that be when they're ready to retire when they're age 65, just using average numbers? So when they're 15 and then they retire at 65, that's 50 years that $2,500 will be working in there. And we can calculate that out pretty quick. But I think you'll see that, wow, I mean, that's right there incredible. If you did that for your kid, what a legacy that you would help build there. So most people, if they do that, they end up taking the money out much sooner because they quote unquote need it. But if you didn't take it out and you left it there for 50 years at even 5% interest, tax deferred 5% interest, what would that money be? Or if you did it in a Roth IRA, if you took the taxes out before you put it in the account, and say it was $2,500 that you'd already paid tax on. So say you had $3,500 that they earned, paid the tax, and you put that into a qualified Roth IRA, and it sat there for 50 years. What that would be? We should look at that. It's exciting. So how to calculate your life expectancy. So I'm going to do that for me today. And there's lots of data here that say, people are living longer and longer lives. And if you reach age 70, there's a good chance you're going to live 15 to 20 years longer. So, if you make it to 70, you've got a much better chance of making it to 85 than you did even 10 years ago today. So that's what the actuarials are saying. So thinking about living longer is important because our health is good on average. So having the funds together that will help you live a long life, and part of that, part of the actuarials take into consideration your stress level. If you're working two, three jobs and you're pushing yourself really hard and you're smoking, you're drinking, you're having a good life and having fun, but you're stressing your body, you're probably not going to live as long, So you have to weigh that stuff out. I see these people smoking the vape, and young kids smoking the vape, and they think, oh, I'm skirting this health thing because I'm vaping, and I call bullshit. So think about those things. It's important. I think as an old guy looking back, it's important. So how to determine how long you're going to live? There's this report here from US News has 2 calculators. So let's take a look at those. The first calculator is a Social Security life expectancy calculator. So I'm going to pull that up, and let's take a look at it. I've got to remove this one and put this one up here. Bear with me one second. And so I'll put this up. So there it is. So we're looking at the Social Security Retirement and Survivors Benefits Life Expectancy Calculator. So we take a look at that, and they just ask you some basic stuff. Select your sex. So I'm male, and date of birth is December 16, and I was born in 1957. So I'm 66 years old. So submit. All right, so here we go. It says that I'm 66 and 3 months now, and that I'm going to live an additional 18.2 years. Estimated total, give or take another 15 years. Give 15 to 18 years I'm going to live. Till age about 85, 86 if I'm lucky. So that's what this one says. So should I take that as gospel? No, because personally, I'm thinking I'm going to live to at least 100. So 85, that's another 15 years that I'm going to need money for. And so that's really important for me to know that and to be planning for it, because that's another 30 years. I've got another 25, 30 years to go. So, I need a lot more money, and with inflation and the way the economy's going, the money that I put aside is getting worth less and less. So you need to make sure you have enough, that it's generating enough income for you to live. And again, it doesn't take age to retire. It takes cash flow. Love cash flow. So that's the life expectancy calculator from the Social Security. And so we can look at that one, and then there's another one that we can see. This one's an actuary's longevity illustrator, and we'll pull this one up here so that I can show you that one. And I have not done this one yet, so let's take a look at that. Let's see, where is that? Come on, baby. There we go. Present, share screen, actuaries, share. There we go. Okay, so this is the Longevity Illustrator, and this is by longevityillustrator.org. So how it works, with information you provide based on a few questions about your health, smoking habits, and demographic characteristics, the ALI will produce tables and graphs showing the likelihood of you and your spouse partner, if applicable, may live to certain ages. In addition, it provides information on the number of future years you might expect to live, as opposed to living to certain ages. Tables and graphs can be used to help you understand your potential retiree financial longevity risk. So it says get started up here. So we'll click on get started. And here's what it says. All right. How do I answer the smoking question if I am an occasional smoker? Let's take a look at that. So it says, following Center for Disease Control definition of smoking, consider yourself a smoker if you use either every day or some days at least one tobacco product: cigarettes, cigars, cigarillos, filtered little cigars, pipes, water pipes, hookahs, e-cigarettes, smokeless tobacco, chewing tobacco. For cigarettes only, consider yourself a smoker if you have smoked at least 100 cigarettes during your lifetime. Wow. That's how many packs? That's 5 packs. So if you've just smoked 5 packs of 20, each pack has 20 cigarettes. So that's 5 packs of cigarettes. Some people do 3 packs a day when they're smoking. So if you have smoked at least 100 cigarettes during your lifetime and now smoke cigarettes either every day or some days, if your smoking habits fit the low end of this definition, you may want to use the ALI twice, once answering yes and then again answering no to get a sense of how the results change. So yeah, you can just do it as if you're a smoker, and then if you're not a smoker, and see what the difference is, and maybe take the middle one for your answer. So let's see. Does smoking include electronic cigarettes or chewing tobacco? There's a big question. For this ALI, smoking includes electronic cigarettes. It also includes chewing tobacco. So yes, any tobacco products. What do you mean by general health? Please assess your own health in very general terms. Think in terms of comparing your state of health to that of other people the same age and smoking status as you, rather than the health of the general population. If you are free to revise your answer to see how it changes the results. So yeah, just go in and change things around, play with this, and see what makes sense for you. Do different scenarios. Why does ALI only ask about age, gender, smoking, and health? What about other factors that affect longevity? Basically, it says that those 4 factors are really the bulk of anything that makes a difference. So age, gender, smoking, and health. Those are the 4 things that account for a significant amount of the individual variations in longevity, it says. So that's why. And so is my information private? ALI neither saves nor shares the data that you enter and the associated results. So I guess you can say, yes, it's private. So I'm going to put in my first name, Jim, and my date of birth, 12/16/1957. Maybe it needs those 12/16/1957. And then retirement age, I've already retired, so 65. Gender, select male. And do you smoke? No. And general health, I would say, I may be a little vain, but I'm going to say excellent. So view the results. Person number 1's retirement age must be between 66 and 99. Okay, so I need to revise my retirement age. So I'll say 66. All right, so take 2. Okay, so gender, male, blah, 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 excellent. Okay, so now here's some graphs. What do we got? Probability of living to a certain age. Probability of living to a certain age for Jim. So probability on this from 0 to 100%, and age. So as age right now, I'm at 66. So age 70, the probabilities are really high, like 95%. And as I get older, it goes down. So at 100, the probability of me living to 100 is less than 10% right now. You can see right here. So that's what this one says, 8%. So age 70 is 96%, 85 is 64%, and 100 is 8%. So I've got long odds on making it to 100 at this point, according to this table. So interesting. Now, planning horizon. So let's see. When looking out into your future, it's important to consider the likelihood that you will live for many years. This chart shows the probability of living beyond a certain number of years and starting from your retirement age, your current age, if you're already retired. The information is intended to provide reasonable estimates. However, you or your spouse, partner, actual lifetime can differ significantly from these estimates, either above or below. All right. So, for instance, you may be comfortable setting your planning horizon to consider the period until there is only 25% chance that you will live longer than the number of years indicated by the bar. So, probability of living, let's see, years from retirement age. So 8 years from retirement age, there's a 90% chance I'm going to live that long. 15 years from now is a 75% chance I'm going to live that long. 22 years from now, 50%, 50-50. And 32 years is 10%, about 100 years. So, yeah. Why is planning for a 10% likelihood more cautious than planning for a 25% likelihood? I usually think of bigger numbers as being more cautious, and 10% is smaller than 25%. So, probability for living for a specified number of years. Okay, so probability from 0 to 100% in years from retirement age. So probability of living for a specified number of years. And this is the same data again, just in a different chart. So it's at 66 to 100 is somewhere in here 30. It just gets closer and closer to 0 as you go. So yeah. So view conclusions. What does it say? So you can print these results and take a look at them. And yeah, so basically putting this little bit of data in here, you get a pretty good idea of, in graphic form, black and white, if you will, right in your face, what it is that you're going to have to do to, how many years you're going to live. And so what do you use that for? How can you use that information? Well, there's a lot of factors in your lifestyle if you're thinking about it. And if you're healthy now and you're maintaining your health, and you are doing that on purpose. If you're not maintaining your health and you get to be 50, 60 years old, things just they start degrading. Your body just starts, your hormones change, your everything starts slowing down. So it's just one of those things that happens. And unless you're managing your stress and your diet and your exercise and you're staying, sharp and healthy, your body will start shutting down in various ways and being susceptible to more and more diseases. And then you have to go to the doctor. And then if you follow Western medicine, they'll start giving you some medication. A lot of people are subject to this idea or this thing called insulin resistance. That's a chronic malady that I think most people, from the studies I'm reading, most people are affected by that, but they don't know it. And then they start getting these chronic diseases, these things that pop up. There's a whole litany of those, and we'll talk about those at another time. But that's an issue that can be fixed, can absolutely be fixed before it becomes a real problem. But you've got to make changes, and you've got to figure out what you want to do and make decisions. And I think taking a look at this subject, how long am I going to live, and how long do I want to live, and how do I want my life to be? These are great questions to think about and start planning for. Because I took it for granted. I took my health for granted. I thought, hey, it's just going to be there until it isn't, and I'm not going to worry about it. But not to saying that worrying is a good thing, but planning for it, I think, is very good. So learning about longevity and then figuring out how you're going to manage your life as you get older, what you want that life to be like, is important. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't just happen. You've got to plan for it. So find some help doing that. Get somebody that knows what they're talking about and that can help you put a plan together. Somebody who understands the things that are important to you, somebody that you trust, that you can confide in and tell what talk about what you want to do and get their feedback on it, and make sure that they tell you what they think and not what you think they want, what they think you want to hear. That's not what you want. You want somebody who can tell you what they think and be open and honest about it and give you feedback. And then you take it back, make your decision from whatever it is. And maybe you talk to 2 or 3 people that you trust. But get that input, get that feedback, figure it out, make a plan and start working towards that plan, and get that integrated into your life, because that's going to make a huge difference for you as time goes on. Huge difference. And it ties in with the things that we talk about. We talk about on this show: becoming, longevity, building an audience, building generational wealth, and community service. And those 5 things, those are my 5 shifts that I'm incorporating in my life now at age 66, because I think those are the 5 core things that will keep me whole and moving in the right direction and having a great life the rest of how many days I've got left, and just working on those things, because each of those things encompasses everything in my life. And so proactively managing, developing, and growing in those areas is so far giving me the best results that I've had in my whole life. So that's why I'm talking about them here, because I think it's so important to share this. Maybe somebody else will pick it up. So that's my thought for the day, is talking about longevity and the life expectancy. How long are you going to live? And how do you want to live? And how do you want your life to be? You want it to be healthy, or do you want to be, if you don't manage it, you're just probably high probability you're going to get sick. And then what? things aren't the same. So take that into consideration. Think about it now. And we'll talk about this more, but from my view, proactively building your audience at a young age, learning how to do that, building your personal brand, and giving yourself that leg up will help you in so many ways. Even if you're an employee, you're not a business owner. If you're a business owner, you should absolutely do it. If you're an employee, sometimes people get kind of shy about doing that. But I think, from a personal development standpoint and a becoming standpoint, and just a life enjoyment standpoint, pushing through that fear, wherever that fear is what's going to bring you the most joy and satisfaction for this life. So think about it. Think about longevity. Think about how long you're going to live. Think about how much money you're going to need, and whether or not you're planning. Are you putting it away? Is it working for you? Are you creating that wealth? Are you developing a plan to create generational wealth so you can pass along the fruits of your labors and your success to your kids and their kids and your grandkids? What a wonderful thing. So that's my story for the day. I hope you're having an awesome afternoon, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.